my first question would be, okay, have you ever learned a song before? And if yes, how long did that take you? And if you don't know how long it took you, I think it would be very interesting to see how long each part of the process of learning a song takes, because songs are kind of like wedding cakes. There's many different layers of things that need to happen in order to know a song, both singing and playing an instrument or writing a song or producing whatever. So if we take singing, which is what Elise is trying to do here, man, okay, you need to know the words. You need to know the melody. You need to know the singing technique in order to effectively reproduce the melody by singing. You also need to be able to hold time, follow the arrangement. That's five, just off the top of my head. And if we thought about it a little while longer, we'd find a lot more. So, understanding that it's already rather a complex thing to do, learning a song, because there's many different moving pieces. What I would suggest doing, at least for the first one, is to think about how long each one of these steps of the process takes you. For example, how long does it take you to memorize the words? Now, when I say memorize the words, this brings up a second point. So I'll come back to we're gonna put a pin in these 5 points. Zooming out again to the original question, it's like, okay, how long does it take you to learn 5 songs is an excellent question. And I think a better question is, how long does it take me to learn 5 songs and then be able to remember all 5 songs at the same time? Because those are two very different things, right? You could spend 2 weeks, as an example. I'm not saying this is how long it's going to take you. This is just an example. You can spend 2 weeks learning one song, 2 weeks learning one song, and you go for 10 weeks. And then at the end of the 10 weeks, you wouldn't remember the first song because you only did it, you did it 8 weeks ago. That's 2 months, right? So you wouldn't really remember that first song because anything you do, you give it 2 months, you're not going to remember it. So the question is not, how can I learn 5 songs? How long will it take me to learn 5 songs? Like, how long will it take me to learn 5 songs and be able to remember all those 5 songs for the next insert time frame, 1 year, 2 years, 10 years, to be able to, so I can go audition with them, whatever. Okay, so zooming out and then also thinking about whenever you're setting a goal for yourself, it's not just about the pieces of the goal, it's also the whole goal together. So the whole goal together is how long does it take me to learn the songs and how long can I remember them for? Okay, so zooming back in on the question, we had sort of 5 things that I came up with off the top of my head. If you think about it for another 30 seconds, or maybe even right now, you're coming up with more, and that's fine. All I'm trying to do right now is just illustrate the principle of how you'd go about doing this. So if you don't know how long it takes you to do each step of the process, you could use a timer. Something like Evernote or Everhour, Everhour is a timer I'm actually using right now to track my time. It's free. I do not get any money for telling you about them. I'm just sharing a tool that has worked for me, that if you try it, may work for you. And what you can do with Everhour is you can create a project. So you could say song 1, and then within song 1, you would time how long it takes you to learn the lyrics, how long it takes you to learn the melody, how long it takes you to put the melody and the lyrics together, and how long it takes you to get those at speed, so up to tempo, performance tempo, how long it takes you to get it 5, 10, maybe 15, maybe 20 BPM faster than performance speed, so you really have it on lock. And then how long it takes for you to feel comfortable. And then comfortable, this is something we would call qualitative data. So it's something we can quantify, right? So if I ask you how comfortable you feel right now, you wouldn't say, oh, I'm too comfortable. Like, not too comfortable as in TOO comfortable, too comfortable as in like TWO, too comfortable. Or 1 comfortable, or 3 comfortable, or 5.5 comfortable. So comfortable is something that we feel, which means it's not something that works with numbers, but we can put numbers, we can assign numbers to how we feel. So if you get to a place where you feel 5 out of 5, so 5 is the most, 5 out of 5 comfortable with what you're doing, and you feel 5 out of 5 in control, and you are 1 out of 5 relaxed, which means in terms of tension, you have 1 out of 5, which means at 5 you'd be like this, and 1 you're loosey-goosey. Those are metrics that when you look at them and you layer all of them on top of each other, are more likely to indicate that you are ready to move on to the next song. And then within that, not just move on to the next song and forget the first song, because if you just forget the first song, all that time you spent on it is kind of a waste. So you want to use what I call essentially the 2 parts of practicing, or 2 modes or functions of practicing. The first is to learn something new. The second is to review something you already know and keep it fresh. So in that case, what you would do is each song, you would slot it into review practice. And you could do review practice at the beginning or at the end of your practice session for 5 to 10 minutes. And then that time you just spend reviewing the song. And if at any point in time you start making mistakes, then go back and take that song or the parts of the song that you're making mistakes and put it into learning practice. Whew. Okay. I think I answered the question. Let's review one more time. Okay. I'll be following process later on book with realistic time frame. Right. So I didn't really answer the question, but I did kind of answer the question. The question was, what's a realistic time frame? And the answer is, I don't know, because I don't know how quickly you learn songs. And different people, depending on how long they've been learning music, learn songs at different speeds. So for example, the other day, I was on one of the YouTube channels I have, which is called Music Theory for Gamers. And on this channel, I listen to music, and in real time, sometimes, in all fairness, sometimes you do have to go back and listen twice, but in real time, I tell people what's going on in the music. So I use ear training and music theory, and I break down the music and what's going on. And I had this experience where I heard this song, and it was so relatively simple for where I am now in my music journey that I was like, oh, I can literally tell you what this song is. I can predict what the next chord is going to be, and basically was clairvoyant about what was going to go on in the song. And also in this same series of music called a soundtrack, an original soundtrack, I could find a song where it's like I'm there scratching my head going, oh my gosh, what happened? And so what that is, it's like when you get better at doing something. So I'm very, and this is clinical. I'm not trying to pump myself up or sound great. I've been doing music for a long time. So the basics, I'm very good at. I'm very good at the basics. Right, more advanced stuff, yeah, still I can hit head scratchers, still I'm learning, still I'm growing, we're all learning, we're all growing. So when I hit something that's super basic, for me, I don't even have to learn it, I know it. I can tell you what the next chord's gonna be just by listening to the song, right? And so the question really becomes is like, okay, how good or how experienced, good's not the word, but how much experience do you have memorizing lyrics? If you have a lot of experience memorizing lyrics, that's gonna go faster. If you have a lot of experience learning melodies, that's gonna go faster. If you have a talent for recognizing the sequence of pitches in a melody, that's gonna help you go faster. You know, so there's a lot of different inputs into what goes into making a song go faster and slower. But within that, I think the interesting thing to think about too is that you're always speeding up, right? So the simple song I told you that I heard the other day, when I first started playing music, would have taken me maybe 2 months to learn or figure out, right? And now when I hear it, it doesn't take me any time. Like it literally, as much time as it takes to listen to the song, so maybe it's 2 minutes, that's how long it takes. And even there, I'm actually predicting what's going to happen based on pattern recognition, so I can actually learn the song faster than the actual duration of the song. I could actually speed the song up 100% and learn it in 1 minute, right? I will, yeah. So you get the idea. It's like the more you do something, the better you get at doing it, the faster it goes. So another example would be just taking us out of music for something everyone could understand would be like texting on a phone. It's like if you spend a lot of time texting on a phone, you go very fast. But if you don't spend a lot of time texting on the phone, you're there kind of like trying to figure out which thing is where your thumb goes, you press the wrong letter, you're like, oh no, now I gotta go back and delete it. It's the same exact idea. So to summarize this little Q&A section, Elise, phenomenal. You read the 14 Unshakable Laws of Learning Music. This is great. It's causing you to think in phenomenal ways. It's causing you to ask questions around making goals. It's causing you to even think about making a goal in the first place, which is amazing. I'm so happy for you, so proud of you. Keep rocking and rolling. That's so great. It's literally why I wrote that book. It's to help people just like you set goals, think about music, and start thinking in more efficient and productive ways. So that's fantastic. Keep on rocking. Track the time it takes for you to learn your songs, and that's going to give you an idea of how long it takes. You know, so what you could do right now in terms of saying you want to learn 5 songs, say it's going to take you 6 months. I mean, it's likely not going to take you 6 months, but life does happen. You know, cake won't eat itself. I got some cookies here. They're not going to eat themselves. I've got to go eat some cookies. I cannot do music and eat cookies at the same time. So it's like life happens. There's cookies that need to be eaten. So always give yourself some leeway in whatever time frame you expect a goal to take. I think would also be a piece of advice, because you never know when a delightful cookie will cross your path and you're like, you know what? I think I need to spend the next 5 minutes eating this cookie.